October 1st, and this is the London Review. Hi guys, this is Robert Rivera with the Rivera Trading Group in association with Train Trading Academy. Here once again, promoting shamelessly my Puerto Rican coffee, best coffee in the world. I think they serve it even in the Vatican. So if it's good for the Vatican, it's good for the Rivera household, right? It's delicious. It's so very good. And last night we had an amazing two trades, GBP AUD and GBP USD. And this is the time of the day when I review the trades from the last night. So let's go right into it. So first up, we have GBP AUD. We've noticed how after it had dropped for quite a while, it has found support. You see how it's bouncing off of that line? It just keeps bouncing up and down from it, up and down from it, up and down from it. And it's not creating higher highs. And it keeps bouncing against that low. Obviously, you know, we're looking at a potential break to the downside. Doesn't mean it can't go either way. We're good either way. Whichever way it goes, we're good for it. But based on the drop and based on how it's reacting at the support line, we're expecting that could break the downside any minute. Perhaps there's even a minor, little small flag, bearish flag forming right there and exactly at the 50 moving average. So it's an anticipated break. Let's see what happens. This is the result from last night. Again, it broke, and it broke hard. I did not count those pips from the 50 moving average. Could have done that. Just simply did it from the zone, right? Well, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at how it had resisted there, and so now we're looking for that break. It broke and gave that beautiful retest on that wick right there, and that's the one that I took. It was beautiful. It was beautiful as it kept going down, 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 down. That's one of those that I could have spent the night just staying up watching it keep dropping, because on NFP week, especially when you have a reaction like the way that dropped, for those of you who were actually watching it, at the 330 candle, the GBP went from, I don't remember, 5 or 6 to 0. I mean, to 0 in a flash. When that kind of thing happens, obviously it's news related. Something happened in the news, which I don't know there were news coming out exactly at that 3:30 time. I think they were coming at 4:30, but it's related to news. So some financial institution somewhere in the world, or many of them at the same time, found out that news was coming out and it was going to be bad, and so they dumped. And so that thing just started going, and it just kept going. When we see kind of those kind of movements in the market, it's going to be going for a long time. And I knew that, and I could have stayed in there longer, but I went ahead and just took my portion so I could go to bed. All right, that was GBP AUD. Let's go to see GBP USD. So this is GBP USD as we had it. Let's see. I make sure that I posted this to the group with a very long trend line from the top, because I wanted them to realize that this double top situation that we got going on right here, price is getting ready to run into that trend line once again. And once it does that, I mean, it may poke its head out, and it did do that. It may poke its head out, but it's much more likely to bounce from it to the downside, okay? Not that it wouldn't eventually go back up, but the first reaction we're going to see is probably going to be a strong rejection at the time. At the top, okay? Let's see what happened. So these are the results on GBP USD. As I mentioned, I have marked that all the way up so that the people could see, my team could see that it was going to likely reverse at that point. But I took that break to the top side. I took like, I don't know, it was only like 10, 11 pips to the upside. It was just a scalp. And then I watched it as it dropped. When I saw it dropping as hard as it did, I went and looked at GBP AUD, and GBP AUD was at the bottom of the zone. So I took the GBP AUD and basically watched this GBP USD dropping like crazy. Now, it dropped initially like 80 pips, and it went up like 50, came back down another 70, went back up another 30 or something like that. It was crazy to watch. But on something like this, Uh, Actually could have taken advantage of it a lot better because once it broke to the bottom on the bottom zone, it was going to go for a little bit. It went for 118 pips to the downside. And then when it came back up, it broke above the trend line for another 47 pips. And by the way, now it's back down below the trend line. Again, there's a very strong area of resistance. So for it to break the top side, it's going to take some violent news like what we just seen. And so sure enough, that's what happened. Very strong moves last night. And news related, NFP week can be dangerous. Something to keep in mind. Smaller lot sizes and quicker profits. That's really how I do it. Let's go to the numbers. So these are the numbers from last night. And again, that's that little small scalp that took to the top side on GBP USD. So very happy that I was quick on that draw, took that quick profit because it was about, I don't know, 20 minutes later when it dropped really, really hard. I was waiting for that drop from the top on GBP USD. I was talking with Jay. Jay and I were talking to each other, and I was like, yeah, that drop is coming. And I'm like, okay, it could be happening right now. And it probably was like 10 minutes later when it actually dropped. But as GBP USD is coming down, it's making some really strong wicked moves down and up, down and up. And on GBP AUD, it just looked a lot cleaner as it was breaking the bottom. So I took that break to the bottom, and you see the results here. Now, GBP USD, I love my GBP USD, but last night that was crazy. It was wild. Now, once it broke the bottom, though, it became a lot cleaner to take advantage of it then. But that initial impulsive move from the top to the bottom, that was really rough. And it's something, that, again, to pay attention to on NFP week. Welcome back. So as I was saying just a minute ago, on NFP week, you want to make sure that you're using smaller lot sizes and that you are taking profit faster. The reason is you don't really know when the market can reverse on you. And even though your technicals may be on point, fundamentals may override them at least momentarily. So last night, for example, when GBP USD dropped at the 330 candle, it dropped about 80 pips and then went up about 50 pips. Then it dropped about 70 pips and it came up about 30 pips. And then it kept going after that. So an intermediate to an advanced trader who has experience in watching and trading that could take advantage of it and knows what to do. But a brand new trader is going to see that and is going to freak out. They're going to jump in late. They're going to jump in as it's dropping. They're going to jump in somewhere in there. They're going to drop. They're going to enter thinking they're going to catch that big sale as it's coming down. And then it reverses 50 pips. And now they're 50 pips in drawdown, freaking out. They close that. And then it drops again. Then they enter again. And then it reverses another 30 pips. They lose another 30 pips. They close that one again. It's just not worth it. It really isn't worth it. So either don't trade, when it gets closer and closer to NFP Friday, do not trade. Or if you are trading, use small lot sizes so it doesn't really matter. Then you can let the price do whatever it does. And in fact, if you were in, let me see, in either one of them or specifically to GBP USD. If you're in GBP USD and you entered a sell, there was never a time to panic as it was moving because it was still within the zone, okay? And anything that is within the zone, let's say if you're taking it from the top and you're taking a sell from the top, once you're taking a sell from the top, there's no reason to get out unless it breaks your high, But you don't want to take you don't want to take a sell at the bottom as it is wicking back up to the top, okay? You want to make sure that it breaks support, that it breaks support and retest it, just like it showed there on the GBP AUD. We didn't have that on GBP USD. It just kept dropping. It just kept going. But on GBP AUD, we did have that retest. Anyway, this video is already too long. Guys, this is Robert Rivera with the Rivera Trading Group in association with Trading Academy. I hope that you're receiving value from this content. Also, and finally, tomorrow's NFP Friday. The market is going to be extremely volatile, probably throughout the night, but especially at 8:30 in the morning, 8:30 Eastern. You do not want to be in the market with any open trades because, again, the same thing I just spoke about with GBP USD will be happening with all GBP pairs. All pairs related to the USD will definitely have a reaction. Okay, gold will have a reaction also tomorrow morning at 8:30. You don't want to be in a trade not knowing what is going to happen. That is gambling. Okay, we don't do that. So just be aware. Okay, just making all the new traders aware. If you are an experienced trader and you are used to trading NFP, you already know what to do. Just be cautious. And again, smaller lot sizes, quicker profits. God bless you guys. Bye.